What's for dinner?
Hey everyone, I'm Chef Z and welcome back to my channel, Chef Z Cooks. Today we are busting out the air fryer and we are going to be making some air fryer lemon pepper chicken wings. Now let me tell you guys something, these wings are super tasty, super easy to make and super quick. Now I do have a recipe here on my channel where I show you how to make air fryer chicken wings but with a buffalo sauce. So if that's more your speed, I will definitely link that video down below. Now for today's sauce, we will be making lemon pepper wings. However, I'm going to be showing you how to make the sauce two different ways. Yes, you heard that correctly, but don't worry because I will go into so much more detail about the different ways to making that tasty sauce later on. I do want to note that you do not have to rush out and buy the same exact air fryer that I'm going to be featuring in today's video. Honestly, whatever air fryer you have will work totally fine. And if anything, I will walk you through the settings and the different tips and tricks that I've learned along the way so that you get these wings perfectly crispy. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So in order to make these delicious air fryer lemon pepper chicken wings, we're obviously going to need some chicken wings. And bonus, if you can find some free range chicken, we're also going to need some garlic powder, some onion powder, a little bit of vegetable oil just to get it going in the air fryer, some fresh black pepper, and some kosher salt. Now for the lemon pepper sauce, keep in mind that I will be showing you how to make it two different ways. And for the sauce, you're going to need some garlic powder, some lemon pepper powder, some fresh lemon, some butter, and bonus if you can find some grass-fed butter. Now I'll go into detail as to what goes into which sauce, so don't freak out just yet, and just know that both of the sauces are really delicious and it's going to come down to personal preference. So let's jump right ahead and let's start seasoning the chicken. So I'm going to add the garlic powder. Now I'm going to add the onion powder. And I'm going to add some kosher salt. And I'm roughly going to add about a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half. I'm now going to add some fresh black pepper. And this pepper honestly makes all the difference. And I'm going to add some vegetable oil just to get it going. Now, I know when it comes to air frying, one of the bonuses is that you don't actually have to deep fry it. So, however, adding a tiny bit of oil does help the chicken come out super, super crispy. And that oil helps things get going. Okay, so I'm just gonna put on my gloves real quick just to mix this up a little bit easier. And listen, do not leave any negative comments because every time I mix like any kind of meat with gloves, somebody always gets in the comments and just, I don't know, takes it so personally, but I just don't like getting my hands dirty. And I also don't like to cross-contaminate my workstation. So I'm going to mix everything until it's well combined. And I should also mention that it's really important that you actually season the chicken before air frying it, because I personally think that a naked wing should taste just as good and just as tasty as a dressed wing. And as you can see, we use some of the most simplest ingredients, and that's all you really need, even if you like the naked wing, which by the way, I'm a naked wing kind of girl and then I like to dip it in the sauce. Just know that the naked wing is also gonna taste just as tasty. Okay, so we've mixed those all together. And the beauty of this dish is that you actually don't have to let it marinate. So if you're in a rush, people are coming over and you just have to get this going, listen, no marinating, you can get right to business. So now I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna set up my air fryer and then I'm gonna walk you through all the different settings to help you get the chicken wings absolutely perfect. So I'll see you in a little bit.
So now we're going to set our air fryer, and I personally like to air fry my wings at 390 degrees Fahrenheit, and then I set the timer for 22 minutes. I like to let my air fryer warm up for about 2 minutes because I find that this gives me the best results. And once the air fryer has finished warming up, we're gonna go ahead and we're going to add our seasoned chicken wings into the air fryer. Now my air fryer is not that big, so I will have to fry the chicken wings in 2 batches. And for the first batch, I like to make sure that I don't overcrowd the pot because it's actually still going to be warming up. And in the second batch, I give myself a little bit more freedom to overcrowd it just a little bit. But these are just some of my tips and tricks to help you get the perfect chicken wings. And after about 10 minutes, I like to go in and I like to flip them over halfway through. And I find that doing this helps the chicken wings brown evenly on all sides. However, you do want to do this fairly quickly because you don't want to let all that heat escape either, because then you may have to add a minute or 2 extra to the air fryer. Now you can totally eyeball this and air fry them as brown and as golden as you like. So I definitely suggest keeping an eye on it, but remember not to open and close it too much to not let the heat escape. And after those 10 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and we're now going to take out the chicken wings. And as you can see, they are beautifully crispy. So now we're going to air fry our second batch of chicken wings. And like I mentioned earlier, this go around, I'm not too worried about overcrowding the pot. Now I definitely don't want to layer them on top of each other, but I don't let them have as much space as I did in my first batch. And that's because I find that my air fryer is actually a lot hotter the second time around. And just like the first time, I do flip them halfway through. So now that my chicken wings are all nice and cooked, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start making our tasty lemon pepper sauce. So we're going to set our flame to medium low, and now we're going to melt our butter. And I highly recommend that you use a salted grass-fed butter if you can find it, because this is going to give you the ultimate flavor. So once the butter is about 90% of the way melted, we're now going to be adding our garlic powder. Now this first sauce is all about toasting our dried ingredients to extract as much flavor as possible. We're gonna add just a tiny pinch of salt just to help all of these flavors come together. And of course, we're also going to be adding some fresh black pepper. And I find that the fresh black pepper has more flavor than the already ground pepper. We're now going to add our lemon pepper seasoning, and we're gonna mix everything until it's well combined. And again, you wanna do this over medium-low flame, and you wanna let all of this toast for about 2 minutes. Now, I highly recommend that you use a lemon pepper seasoning that you really like. I personally am not a big fan because I find that they taste a little artificial, but sometimes the good ones are actually not so bad. So for the second sauce, we're actually going to also be melting some grass-fed salted butter, except that we're going to be melting this over low flame, and we're actually going to be cooking it a little bit slower. However, it will still come together rather quickly. So once that butter has melted about 50% of the way through, we're going to add our garlic powder, and we're also going to be adding a pinch of salt. Now we're going to mix everything until it's well combined, and we just want to slowly melt the butter because I don't want the oils in the butter to separate too much. I actually want to create somewhat of a creamy sauce. So once the butter is about 90% of the way melted, we're now going to add our fresh lemon. And I went ahead and I lowered the flame ever so slightly because again, I actually want a little bit of a creamy sauce. The funny thing is that lemon has acids in it, and once you combine it perfectly with the oils in the butter, it really comes together really nicely and the texture is absolutely beautiful. So we're going to mix that all together, and as you can see here, our sauce is looking a little bit creamy, but is actually missing one key ingredient. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add some fresh black pepper. And by the way, if you like the pepper mill that I'm using in today's video, I'll definitely link it down below for those of you who are interested. We're gonna mix that together one last time, and then we want to pay really close attention because we want our butter to actually bubble ever so slightly, but we don't want it to burn because we don't want to create a brown butter sauce. Even though a brown butter sauce is really tasty, that actually goes better in another dish. So once that butter is beautifully melted, we're now gonna move on and add it to our wings.
Okay guys, so our sauce is ready. I'm gonna swirl it around just for good luck. And now I'm going to pour it all over our air fried chicken wings. So excited. I'm now going to mix everything until it's well combined. Oh my goodness. Now, I personally love this sauce with the fresh lemon just because I feel like it has better dimension, better flavor, and the acid in the lemon really helps this sauce become one nice and thick, especially if you're cooking it at just the right temperature. Now, let's say you cook the butter a little bit too warm, that's totally fine. Just let it cool down just a little bit before adding the lemon, and you're gonna have a nice, rich, thick sauce just like you see right here. Oh my goodness, guys, you guys cannot smell it, but it smells amazing. So just to finish things off, I'm gonna add a little bit of black pepper. They are lemon pepper wings after all. And there you guys have it. This is my recipe for some lemon pepper air fryer chicken wings. Definitely comment down below and let me know which other recipe you like to see me make. And I'm also curious to know what's your favorite sauce to have with wings. Like always, I will be back next week with an all new video. Click right here for another recipe, and it's time for me to dig in. Oh yeah. These are fire, wow.